Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a shorter lesson on proportional relationships and graphs, okay? You do not have to write anything down. You do not have to write anything down. Please bear that in mind. Okay, so before we start with proportional relationships and graphs, let's do a brief review on proportional relationships and tables. So, there are two things you need to remember for proportional relationships and tables. The first one, of course, is the magic fraction. Now, the magic fraction will always be the same as the one thing I ask you to memorize. It's going to be y divided by x, y over x, okay? The second thing that you need to try and remember is when you're building a table, what comes first in the alphabet, x or y? It's x. So x goes on the left and then y comes afterward. Just like on the coordinate plane, when you have a point, it's x comma y. It's literally in alphabetical order. It couldn't be any easier. Alright, so let's say that you have a table that's like, I don't know, 35, 5, and then down here, let's go ahead and let's do 7 and 49, right? To find the proportional relationship from this table, all you have to do is choose the magic fraction. So we're going to do one point at a time. Let's say we pick this point. The magic fraction is y divided by x. So my y value, directly underneath the y, is the 35, and the x value, directly underneath the x, is the 5. 35 divided by 5 is 7. Boom, my constant of proportionality is 7. And the whole thing about the constant of proportionality is that it's constant. So if I go ahead and I pick the other point down below, same magic fraction, y over x, well then y here is 49, and x is 7. 49 divided by 7 is again 7. My constant of proportionality from this table is 7. It's constant. It always stays the same. Okay? Now, a proportional relationship on a graph, I know this is a review, you've seen it before, has to follow two rules. Just two rules. It has to be straight, and it has to go through the origin. Go through the origin. So basically, let's color code that so that make sure you guys understand. The origin is that central point right there, the point right in the middle of the graph. So let me draw a few examples here, okay? Yeah, let's go with a green line first. So this line right here, if you're shown this on a graph, you're going to be asked, hey, is this proportional? Well, the answer is no. I mean, it's a straight line, sure, but it's not going through the origin. So this one is not proportional, okay? Let's go ahead and let's do another line. Let's do a red line, okay? So, boom, boom. All right, so what about this line? Well, you're like, well, the line's kind of short, but all right, it does go through the origin because it's right there at that point, yeah? And it is a straight line, so yeah, it's proportional. That's literally how easy it is, guys. Let's do one final example. What about this line right here? Well, I mean, it starts at the origin, so that's good, but it's not a straight line, so this one is not proportional. I don't know, let's do one more example. What about something like this? No, something like this. Sorry. Okay, so what about something like that? Well, this line is straight and it's going close to the origin, but it's not going through it, so it's not proportional. That's pretty much it. And we can use this to solve anything. So here, for example 1, I've covered up the words. The words don't even matter. All I have to do is take a look at the table. So on my table, yeah, my time is my x. So this is time, my x. Okay, so my x is going to be time. And then my distance, let me use another color. My distance is going to be y. So my distance is y. Okay, notice I don't need the word problem. I can just look at the graph and be like, oh yeah, distance is y, time is x. Okay, so for the first point, let's say 0, 0. I'm going to graph it, let's do it in blue. I'm going to graph it right here. The second point, x is 1, and then y is 6. All right, it's going to be right there. The next point, x is 2, y is 12. The next point, x is 3, and then y is 18. Okay, I don't even have to finish drawing it out. I'm pretty sure I have enough here to establish that, if I go ahead and I draw this line, I want to know, is it proportional? Well, it is straight, so that's the first thing. It's a straight line, that's good. And then, does it go through the origin? Yes, it does. So this line is proportional. Ta-da! Let's move on to another example. So let's say we have this. Okay, so remember what I said about tables, yeah? X comes before Y in the alphabet, so this is X, and this is Y. Okay, so the number of games, my X's always go left and right, so number of games, and my Y's go up and down, so that's going to be cost. Alright, so my number of games for the first point is 1, and then my cost is 3, so that's my first point right there. For the second point, my number of games is 2, and my cost is 5. So I can draw that right here. Okay, then let me draw just one more point. My number of games is 3, and then my cost is 7, so that's going to intersect right here. I think I have enough. I don't have to draw out every single point, but I think I have enough to kind of draw. And when I draw it out, that's my line right here. Now, is this line proportional? Well, it's straight, so that's good, but does it go through the origin? That's the bit I'm not sure about, because the origin is right here. Now the blue line passes close to the origin, but it does not go through it. So this line is not proportional. That's really how easy it is. You just have to see if the line is straight and if it goes through the origin. Let's take a look at example 3. Example 3, they already gave you the lines, but they're asking you, hey, the blue line or the red line, which one is proportional? Well, clearly it's the red line. Remember, to be proportional, a line has to be straight and it has to go through the origin. Well, both of these lines are straight, so that works. But the blue line does not go anywhere near the origin. The blue line's all the way up here, so the blue line doesn't work. But the red line goes through the origin. So the only one that goes through the origin and is straight is the red line. That's the proportional line. Here, this one they're trying to be a little bit tricky. They're changing things up on you a bit. The relationship between the number of heartbeats, it's a lot of words. Okay, let's jump straight to the actual question. Determine if each of these ordered pairs, so determine if these 3 options represent a point from this relationship. They're trying to make it more complicated than it is. Basically, they're showing you on the right, yo, this is a line that I have, yeah? See if these points are on the line. That's pretty much it. That's what they're telling you to do. So let's go ahead and let's try it, okay? For the first one, A, well, it says 5, 10, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the bottom. Then I'm going to go up 10. Boom. All right, that looks about right. And no, let's skip this. Okay, so identifying a constant in proportionality from a graph is actually much easier than what it looks like. So let's say, I'm kind of improvising here, but let's say this is your graph. Yeah? And let's say this is your line. And that's a point on your line. Now this line is straight, and it goes through the origin, so you already know it's proportional. That's not what they're asking you though. They're like, okay, it's proportional, now tell me what the constant in proportionality is. And you're like, well, hold on, how do I do that? Simple, the magic fraction. Okay, so for the magic fraction, which you should always remember, y over x, yeah? Let's say that for this point that I chose on the line, this is, I don't know, let's say this is 4, and this is 3, yeah? So let's say this point is at 4, 3. And always remember, the one that goes up and down, the axis that goes up and down is the y, and the one that goes left and right is the x. So, for that point, my magic fraction, y over x, my y is 3, yeah? So my y is 3, and then my x, let's do another color, my x is 4. Boom. I mean, you can use a calculator if you want to find out it's 0.75, but you don't have to. That right there is my constant. That's it. The magic fraction really comes in very handy. Here, let's give you guys another example, just to make it easy, okay? So let's say that you have another graph, yeah? And let's say, again, the one line going up and down is the y, left and right is the x. Let's say that here they're giving you this line. You know that it's straight, and you know that it goes through the origin. So this line's proportional. But that's not what they're asking you. They're telling you, hey, there's this point on the line. Use that point to find out what the constant is. Okay, easy peasy. Again, magic fraction. It really comes in helpful. So the magic fraction is y over x. So let's say for that point right here, this value is 15, and this value is 3. Okay, so if I'm doing y over x, my y is 15, and my x is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. My constant of proportionality is 5. Boom. It's that easy.